Hey guys, it's the Budget Epicurean, and today I'm going to show you how to make a vegan feta cheese. So feta is a type of cheese that is typically aged and then brined in a salty solution. So it's a very sharp, salty type of cheese, and it's typically firm but not hard, and it is crumbled on top of salads, or you can cube it. Sometimes in certain Greek dishes, it's served as just a giant chunk of feta on top of the salad or the dish. So it's used a lot in Mediterranean cooking, and I personally love the flavor. I love salt. But feta, like all cheeses, is not the epitome of health foods. So today we're going to make one that is super healthy and based on tofu. So you're going to need some extra firm tofu. We only need about 12 ounces for a full batch, and I'm going to do a half batch. So I'm going to use about half of this block. If you want to do a full amount, just double everything I'm about to say. Then you need 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, 1 of apple cider vinegar, 1 of nutritional yeast for that cheesy flavor, a teaspoon of garlic, and 1 to 2 teaspoons of salt to taste. I'm probably going to use all of it. And then a 1/4 cup of olive oil. So the beauty of this recipe is you don't have to drain the tofu, which is pretty cool. But you are going to have to plan ahead a little bit because this recipe takes a few hours. So the first part is really easy, just blending all the ingredients together. But then you have to refrigerate it so that it sets up a little bit, and then bake it to get it back to that nice solid tofu consistency. I'm just going to drain a little bit off of that so I can get it out of the package. And I would recommend a food processor rather than a blender because it blends everything to a much finer texture. But if a blender is all you have, then go ahead and use that. So like I said, I'm doing a half batch, so I'm going to just cut my tofu block. If you want the full amount, 1 block of tofu will make you a little less than a pound of feta at the end. So I'll take my block and put it right into the food processor. I'll kind of mix it up a little bit just to make it faster. And then I also need to melt my olive oil, so we'll pop that in the microwave. Just for 30 seconds. 2 tablespoons, 2.5 tablespoons of lemon juice, and 1 of the vinegar. So these 2 are very acidic, and that will make your feta have that nice tangy flavor that it is so well known for. And a tablespoon of the nutritional yeast. There we go. And then let's see, teaspoon. So we need a teaspoon of the garlic powder. That's a half. And that's another half. And you could add the salt 1 teaspoon at a time if you want to wait and see how salty it tastes, but I know I'm going to want to, so I'm just going to go ahead and add the 2 teaspoons. No, that does feel like a lot, so we'll wait. And oil. There we go. And then we're going to just process it all down. And we'll open it up and scrape the sides a little bit. So you can see some of the garlic powder got sprayed up around the sides. So we'll make sure we get everything back down in there. It's kind of got a hummus-like texture to it, actually. This is also a good time to taste it, see just how salty it is. Yep, that's enough. All right, so a couple more seconds there. All right, and there you have it. So you could use this right now, right out of the food processor as a dip or a spread if you wanted to, or if you were baking something that you wanted to have a feta flavor, you could just put it right on in there. But if you want it to become more solid and actually feta cheese-like, then you're gonna want to do these next steps. So I'm just gonna put this straight into a baking pan. And I want it to be a small one because this is a smaller batch. So you only want it to be about 1 inch thick in your pan. So the more you make, the bigger of a pan you're going to need. So this small bread pan should fit just fine. You just take it all right out of the food processor into the dish. Spread that out a little bit. It doesn't have to fill the whole thing. You just want it to be about 1 inch thick. And then we're going to put this in the refrigerator and let it sit for 1 to 2 hours. And so that will get it chilled and a little more firm. And then we're going to bake it at 400 for about 30 to 40 minutes. And then it should become more solid and able to be cut into cubes. So see you in a little bit. All right, so we had this in the refrigerator for at least an hour. The oven is now preheated to 400, and we're just gonna pop this in for 35 minutes. There we go. All right, so we've got our nice baked vegan feta, and we're just gonna let that cool down and pop it back in the refrigerator just for a couple hours, and then it should be nice and set up and firm, and we can cut it into cubes or crumble it and put it over salad, whatever you would normally do with feta cheese. All right, so I let the vegan feta sit in the refrigerator overnight, so it should be nice and firm and ready to be crumbled up or cut into cubes. I can already tell that it's much drier. You can see that there's some cracking along the surface, which is good, means most of the moisture has come out of it. So I'm gonna just cut it into a few slices like so. And there we go. Looks pretty feta-like, a little crumbly, which is what you want. Nice and salty, which is what I want. So there you have it. Healthy vegan feta made mostly from tofu. Hope you give it a try.